So yesterday I went to DMV and I was filling out my application, right? For the first time, I'm first time applying driver, California D resident, whatever, etc., etc. And I was very nervous because I didn't know what to expect. I was asking other people what's gonna happen. Well, a lot of people didn't know. My brother didn't know. I was like, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. I was just so confused. They didn't tell me everything that I was gonna be going through. They didn't tell me the whole process. I wanted to know the whole process because that way I don't stress out too much. And I go like I get there like within 30 minutes, and no, I get there 30 minutes early. I study for 15 minutes, and then I go I go and they're like, oh, you need to fill out this application, and then come back and I fill it out. I give them the application. It's like, okay, here's your number, and then within like 3 minutes they call me, and then it's the guy that was there. He was checking my application, and they asked a lot of questions, this and that, your height, your weight, your hair, and they asked the one about the medical condition, I guess, something like that. And I read the book, and the book says, like California book says, to disclose any physical or mental disability, to put it down, write it down. And I told them, and I was like, should I tell them about this? Should I not? I was telling myself that I was like, I don't know what to do. The first time when I applied for my California ID, I didn't disclose any of that because I was so confused. I didn't disclose any of that. So, so, I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just leave it like that. I'm not even gonna bother to ask anything. I was like, why put myself at risk for not getting a driver license? So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just close it. They'll deal with it. Like they'll deal with it. So then the guy, I see him walking, checking, circling, and I see him walking to like, I guess his manager or whatever. It's a lady. And I was like, oh, great. I was like, oh man. So I was like, okay, I don't know. I was like, whatever, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. So then, like, they're like there for like 2 minutes, blah blah blah, talking to each other. I'm looking down. I was like, I don't even want them to look at me. I don't know what's gonna happen. And the guy comes up, and then he tells me, does your disability and does taking medication prevent you from driving? From driving, blah blah blah. I'm like, huh? He's like, what? I'm barely taking my driver license test. I'm barely taking my permit. I'm barely applying for my permit. How the fuck am I supposed to know? I don't drive. It's like, what kind of question is that? Why are you gonna ask me that? You know what I mean? I don't fucking know. I have never driven. So I've driven before without. I've driven like just a little bit, where it's like just this and that. Other than that, it's like just I've driven for like maybe like a minute, or with like my dad, my brother, my friend have shown me, but it's just too hard for me. So then, that's why I applied for a permit to learn to see if I could drive. My brother's gonna teach me, and yeah, I was like, I don't know how the DMV works, but that is the stupidest question. I don't know, like that didn't make sense to me. It's like, I told him honestly, I don't know. I told him, based on what I read, it says to disclose my disorder. I'm disclosing it because I read it. I told him that's the only reason. I was like, I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm just gonna disclose it. And I didn't say I don't know how to drive. Obviously, how the fuck am I supposed to know if I could operate a motoring vehicle if I've never driven? Like, hello, aren't you thinking? It's like barely getting my permit, so I could learn how to drive on the streets, and so I could get my driver's license. But obviously, driving, I've never driven because I've never gotten my permit. A lot of people drive without a permit, and a lot of people drive without a permit. It's like if you live like in the middle of nowhere, just like where certain days and times where there's not a lot of police, a lot of people drive without getting their permit. First, they learn how to drive, then they take their driving license test, they combine that together. That way it's much easier for them. My brother did that. My brother learned how to drive first, and then well, he didn't even bother to study, but he told me that he didn't even study. So he took the written test 3 times. He passed it on his third time, and then within that same week he passed the driver's test. So that's how he did it. I did it different. Cause honestly, you know, since my condition, my mental disorder, I don't think I'll be able to learn how to drive. I don't think I'll be able to learn how to drive safely. I don't think I'm a safe driver, but I don't know. I got a permit, so according to the law, I could legally drive, and if I get in an accident, that's not gonna be good. Let's not start at a bad day. But yeah, I will learn how to drive eventually, I guess. Soon, I don't know. But I got my permit expires with 1 year, and gotta learn how to. I mean, have 1 year to learn how to drive before I take my test. I could take it within 3 months, 2 months if I already know how to drive. I could take it within blah 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 months. But I have up to 1 year, so I guess I gotta learn how to drive day by day, little by little, before my permit expires. And yeah, also, yeah, so after the guy was like there asking me about my condition, I was like, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm like, I already disclosed it, so if it's up to them. If they want to approve me, then it's up to them. That's up to them. I already disclosed my condition. I didn't lie. Blah blah blah. So they approved me. They're like, okay, go take your photo. And it's like, a photo. I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? I'm not prepared to take a photo. So they took a picture. They took my thumbnails and my picture, and I'm like, that's how I am in the picture. So after that, they like, give me this paper, and I go in there and give the desk, give them the paper. I didn't know how it looked inside, so they're like, go in there and give them your paper. And then there was a line, right? I was confused. I was like, I told the people, and I told them, is this the line to give them the test? And then the people that worked there at the test were like, no talking in here. I was like, oops. And they're like, yeah, you waiting here. I was like, okay. So I waited in line, and I was looking at other people's test, and then I was like, oh fuck, what the fuck is this shit? I saw someone taking the test like backwards, like Arabic. They look like they were taking it in Arabic, because people that are from the Arab, like whatever, write backwards. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? I was confused. I was looking at test. I'm like, oh, they're taking it in Arabic, I guess. And then there was this person that was taking the test like in pictures. There was pictures of signs and stuff, and I was confused. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't study out my signs. I don't know all the signs correctly. I don't know how to correctly name them. I know what they mean. It's like, they have the caution, they have like, they have specific names for each sign. They're labeled in each group, right? Like the hazard and blah blah blah. They have like this one and this one and this one for blah 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 and blah blah blah. But I don't know it specifically that well. So gosh, shit, I didn't study that well, all the signs. And I was just so confused. I was like, fuck, I don't know what to expect. And then I just goes like, and I tell him, oh, I'm here to take my. I go to to the desk person. I tell him, oh, hello, I'm here to take my test, it was my first time, and it's like, I was looking at it as a big ass paper. It's back and forth, and it's like, ah, shit. And then it's like 32 questions. I think it was 32 questions. Eh, yep, it was 32 questions. I was nervous. And I started reading and reading, and I was like, oh shit, I don't know. I didn't know none of that shit. I probably knew like five of them. I was looking and looking and looking back and forth at the paper. I was like, I don't know none of this. I studied, but I don't understand it. And this is like, it doesn't make sense to me. And I was like, oh, motherfucking fucker. So then, like, the first question was like, it is illegal to something about a pet. What happens when you throw a pet on the freeway? I was like, that is the funniest question ever. I read about that, so it's like, it's punishable up to $1,000 So I was like, okay, I know this one. And then the rest of them got so confusing and so hard. And they were like so, well, they were so confusing because it was like this and that, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no. You know, I was like, fucking shit. So I was like, okay, I'll just circle the ones I know and the ones I think I know. And I was like, fuck, I don't know none of this. It's like, fuck. I was reading, it was like, how many am I supposed to get wrong? How many can I get wrong in order for me to pass? I was like, oh, fuck, I'm not going to even read it. You know, I'm just going to see which ones I don't know. And I was like, already, I was crying inside my head. Like, I was like, no, fuck. So then I just started answering the ones I know, and there was like questions that didn't even make sense. It said, when on a solid rate, okay, so 12 questions were like on a solid red. So it's like, you could make a turn on a solid red. You could make a right turn on a solid red when blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, I kind of know this when it's make a solid red when there is no sign posted that it's prohibited at any time except when it's prohibited. And then there's one that says you could make a solid you could make a left turn on a solid red light when. I was like, huh, this doesn't make sense. And then it's like on a one-way two-way street, on a one-way one-way street, on a one-way going left one street, on a two-way going one-way left right street. I'm like, what the fuck, this doesn't make sense to me. What the fuck is this about one way? And there was a lot of questions. You know, I have like, I don't know what's, if I have like a, I have a learning disability. So it's like, I don't know specifically what it is, but I just got so confused there. Like, they're talking about curves. I'm like, what the fuck is a curve? And they're talking about like headlights. I'm like, what the fuck is a headlight? And they're talking about like, they're talking about like, what else were they talking about? But like, they're talking about lefts and rights. I get confused sometimes. I don't know my difference between left and right. When someone tells me go left, well, when someone says go left, I'm like, left, which is left? I don't remember. So I know I do have those issues. So see, I was like, fuck, what the fuck is a curve? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is like one way, two way? What does one way mean? What does two way mean? What does left and right mean? What does uphill mean? What does downhill mean? What does this mean? You know, but then I was like, okay, I'll just skip those. You know, I kept going to other ones. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I get this now. Get it, like, I was like, get it together, get it together, get it together. It's like, it's okay, take your time, you know, it's like, you're not in a rush, you know, it's like, I'm just gonna start anything, that's what I said to myself. It's like, no, you're not in a rush, don't rush, you know, you're not in a rush, you're not gonna rush, you know, you're here for the whole hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, there's no time limit, so don't rush. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna rush. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done. There's no people there in line. You know, I saw like three people in line. I was like, okay, I have plenty of time. I'm not gonna wait in line. Let's just focus on this. Let's not guess. And then like finally, I was done to the last two questions. I'm like, this one's it. And then I took it to them, and the lady's like, she has her red marker, and I didn't even notice because I couldn't really see up that desk. I couldn't really see what she was doing, and I saw her circle like three answers, and I was like, oh shit, she's circling. So I was like, I was counting myself. How many times did she circle? I was like, one, two, three. I was like, oh, she circled three, and she was circling in the front page and not in the back page. I think I got all of them in the wrong back page. Maybe just one I got wrong. So I think I got four wrong, and I was like, okay, I was like, I don't know what was going on. And then she started stapling things. It was like, and then I was like, yes, I passed, I passed, I passed. So I was like, oh, I was saying to myself like, yes, I passed, yes, I passed. So then she keeps the test, she throws it there, and I passed. I think I got three or four wrong, or two, or one, I don't know, but I passed. So I was like, yes, the most you could get wrong is six questions. So I don't know. I know that I didn't get less than six questions wrong because I passed. So I got my permit now. I could drive now. Yay! Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.